Hello and welcome back to another episode of Power Rangers lore. Now let me introduce the mighty villain that we're going to be talking about today. He is the galactically feared, the globally reviled, the universally despised Ivan Ooze. Yes, Ivan Ooze, straight from the movie cinema to right here on YouTube. Let us talk about him. Well, who is he, where did he come from, and where has he been doing since then? Well, let's talk about this. Who was he? Well, that is a really good question. We know that he was a warlord of sorts. He was taken on by Zordon, Drusilla, and the Order of the Murderians. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but that's what we're going to call it. We're just going to call him the Order. The Order sealed him up and defeated his empire 6,000 years ago, put him in an egg-like thing, and buried him underneath the ground, hoping that no one would ever find him, because they could not find a way to destroy him. Mind you, he's made of literal ooze. And evil. Don't forget the evil part. Now, despite being trapped, he's fully aware of this 6,000 year period of Earth, what's going on. He's buried under the ground, deep underground, and then he's still aware. In America, fully aware of the Black Plague that never hit America, the Spanish Inquisition, that was in Spain, not America. But he was fully also aware of one of the other great evils in the world, the Brady Bunch reunion. Yes, apparently that was one of the things that he missed most in his time spent in quote-unquote exile. Now, he is also quoted in stating that he knows time periods because he says during the Renaissance he suffered a bad Charlie horse. Now, while he's making all these comical lines, he's also appearing rather terrifying. Now let's go into more about that. He was freed by Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa from his hyperlock chamber in a construction site. They had just basically found him and going, what the heck is this? I don't know if they called anybody to say like, hey, there's an ancient artifact here, you guys gonna come check this out? Which they're kind of supposed to, but, you know, hey, it's just a giant claw holding an egg. What's the worst that could come out of that? We only fight monsters of the week every week. Ugh. But hey, the Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed come down, paralyze the two guards or put them to sleep or whatever, and then release Ooze, who basically goes, okay, what do you guys want? Thanks for freeing me. And he goes, I want you to destroy Zordon. Ooze finds out that Zordon's still around and he goes, oh, I'm not going to just destroy him. I will obliterate his entire legacy and it will be as if Zordon of Eltar never existed. He is quoted in saying, that is like a crazy quote. Now, mind you, Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa have tried to send Monsters of the Week constantly to deal with the Power Rangers, and none have been successful. Like, semi-successful on some levels, but in the end, the Power Rangers come on top. Well, Ooze basically sets up a trap. He has the smell of the teenagers coming, and he goes like, okay, here comes the Power Brats. He goes in disguise, reveals himself later on, and spits up a loogie, summons these ooze-like beings, foot soldiers, to fight the Rangers. They beat him, but while he goes and leaves, and he attacks none other than the command center. He breaches the many security levels with ease, demolishes the command center, plays a flute, severely damages Alpha 5, and then proceeds to destroy Zordon's time warp, basically causing him to rapidly age and near death. Like, this guy, in the matter of like 5 seconds of showing up, just goes, I don't need to fight the Rangers, I'm going after the big boss, and just completely destroys everything around him and goes, I don't have any threat. The Power Rangers lose their powers and have to go on another search for powers. Now, meanwhile, Ooze travels back to the moon, deposes Rita and Lord Zed, going, I did something you couldn't even do in like 2 seasons. I did it in like 5 seconds, and they try to go, oh, you can't tell that to me. He puts him in a snow globe, and then basically walks away. He makes Mordant and Goldar his personal servants, though they didn't really have a chance in that, and then proceeds to go around and brainwash the parents of Angel Grove into digging up parts of his ectomorphicons, or essentially his Transmetal Megazords. I call them Transmetal because they kind of remind me of the things from Beast Wars. Now, they are both large insect-like machines similar to the Power Rangers Zords, just evil. And they're powered entirely by his own essence, his ooze. Now, it takes a while. The Rangers eventually find Powers back, and they come back and do battle. They defeat basically his Morphicons. He merges with them and does battle with them, almost beats them, but then they basically kick him into the path of Ryan's comet, and Ivan is killed on impact. Now, that whole thing, it seems like it's a quick movie, but it is a movie nonetheless, and he is a great villain. He has some great one-liners. He's very comical. He knows how to play the people. The entire time, he never directly attacks the city until he believes he's got his Zords out, but he convinces all the parents to basically take this Ivan's ooze, as he's calling it. He just puts out free carnival disguised wizard. He's just going, here, it's this free stuff. It's completely free. He has this sales pitch like a master salesman. He could have sold me all the ooze, and I'd be going, wait, what am I going to do with all this stuff? Not really thinking about it at the time. He's insane. He's a megalomaniac, but like, he is a show-off to the extreme that I love him. There is not a point of this that I don't go, man, this guy is a truly good villain. And I hope you guys enjoy him as well. I hope you guys check out the movie just to check it on there. I know it's an HBO Max, or was once on there. It could still be on there, but go and check that out. He is also creating the Tengu Warriors from, I think it's also from his Spit and the like as well. It's kind of interesting. Now, oh yeah, his Amethyst Loogie. Sorry. Now, I hope you guys are very interested in this character and check it out. He also appears in the video game adaptation of the movie and is not seen anyplace else. Why? Because he's his own solo storyline. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, is its own universe. It's separate from all other universes, and because of that, keep that in mind. You won't see him in there. I hope they do bring him back in the comics or mention him someplace else. I really be really ecstatic by that. I think he really deserves to be treated as a main canon villain, but hey, that's up to you guys. There's a few little notes I want to point out, and I think he really hits on some certain things. Now, if you've been reading in the comics currently, Zordon is kind of like called out a lot on his stuff by sending kids to do his dirty work, and even in this movie in the 1990s, Ivan basically notes to Zordon when he meets him again, and goes, you still using a bunch of kids to do your dirty work? Basically, he's met and battled other young superheroes in probably 6,000 years ago to fight against the forces of evil, which basically he's going like, what are you doing sending these kids to do a man's job, is what he's saying. Now, there's also one little thing. I know that we've been talking about Lord Zed recently a lot because he's been showing up in Dino Fury, and that the Morphing Masters see him as such a major threat. I think, in truth, they should think of Ivan Ooze as a major threat and bring him back. I'd be very interested in seeing, like, the multiverse theories going on there, because they have the group TRID, or the grid, I don't know exactly what they're calling it, but it's basically a major database of all the Power Rangers series going on there. They can call back information to talk about. And I think them going and talking about the movie universe would be really great. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a big Power Rangers fan who'd be really impressed by anything being called back at this point. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one, and may the power protect you always. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe at the end of this video. All your likes help me out, and all your watchers do too. Thank you very much, guys. I really like to discuss with you guys what your topics are. May the power protect you always.